up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dee and this is the Optimistic Network. Today we're making scallion fried dumpling. Now I'm going to make this just like regular Jamaican fried dumpling, only I'm going to add scallion because someone wants to know how to make fried dumpling, Jamaican fried dumpling. Two things you must know: I really don't make fried dumpling the bulky way. I prefer them flat because I don't like all the belly. However, I will show you how to make it the way regular people make it, the way people love it, with the belly. Even though I'm making scallion fried dumpling because that's what I'm feeling for, it's the same ingredients, you just skip the scallion. So let's get right into it. And quickly, before we do, if you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, turn your notification bells on, and get active in the comments. Let's make scallion fried dumpling. So all we're gonna need for this scallion fried dumpling is some flour, I have that right here, cornmeal, baking powder for sure, some salt and water, and of course we're gonna need the scallion. That's it, just cut them really small. So we'll start by adding flour, and I'm gonna use 2 cups of flour because that's the amount that I want to make. So 2 cups of flour. I'm gonna add a 1/4 cup of cornmeal. I mean, you can do this without cornmeal. I just like cornmeal in all my dumplings. Let's add our baking powder, and I'm gonna use 2 teaspoons. So 1, 2. Salt, we need salt, and you really don't need too much salt, but I like to say usually salt and sugar is your own preference. So however amount of salt and sugar you like, that's up to you. And it also depends on what you're gonna eat it with, because if you're gonna eat it with something that's salty, you don't want to add too much salt. And then finally we're going to add the scallion. Well, not final because we have the water, but we're going to add scallion. From here we're going to get a spoon or a spatula, and we're just going to mix this in all together to combine everything. Already that smells so good because this scallion just smells so good. Here I have 1 cup of water. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use, but I wanted to start at 1 cup so I can tell you guys how much is left, so you know exactly how much to use. Sometimes it may be a little more, sometimes it may be a little less. And one thing to note, I like warm water, not hot boiling water, probably the warm water from the faucet or something like that. A little over room temperature, or room temperature is fine, but not cold water. And a lot of people may tell you to make it with cold water. That has never worked for me, so I'm showing you my way. Just gonna add the water little by little, a little at a time, and you mix while you add. And you don't want to pour it all at one time. You want to add it and see how loose it is. You want to keep track of the looseness and when it starts coming together good. So I'm going to add some more. And every time you add some water, you just knead it in to see, because you don't want to just keep adding water, because right now I think I've added enough. I don't think it needs any more, but let's see. See, this is perfect. This is just perfect, because I like to make it like a little sticky, not too sticky, just a little. Actually this may be a little too sticky for me, so you're gonna use 3/4 cups. If it gets too soft, add a little more flour. If it's not soft enough, add a little more water. I added a little more flour because I'm gonna put it to rest, and I knew that was too much water. But to 2 cups of flour, 3/4 cups of water. The thing is, I went a little over 3/4 cups, so that's why I had to add a little more flour. So 3/4 cups of water is perfect. But again, always take your time and add the water, because you're looking for this nice little stickiness like this. This is a perfect dough to make it. You don't want it too soggy where it's sticking to your finger, but you don't want it too hard where it's too tight. Otherwise your dumplings are just gonna be like bulky and tough, even though you have the baking powder in it, because you made the dough too tight. See, after I add a little flour, I didn't need to add any more water to it. Now it's the perfect dough. So I did add a little too much water in the beginning. Now we have the perfect dough. And to be honest with you, I do not knead dough real long because I've realized you just need to rest the dough. Just cover it with a towel and leave it to rest and go on about your business for about 15 to 30 minutes. Go do something else. Then you come back, all you have to do is give it about 2 minutes knead. Now usually in my Jamaican culture, whenever you make fried dumpling, you have to eat it with something. We usually do. I'm pretty sure there are people who just fry dumpling and not eat it with anything, but today I'm making kale and saltfish. So what I've done, a new way that I found to do my saltfish, usually I'd boil it off twice, but now I soak it. I learned on TikTok, people always tell me try soaking it, and soaking does work. However, depending on the amount of salt you want in your saltfish, do not soak it too long. So I've come up with a method to soak it for 15 to 20 minutes, and then I boil it once for about 15 minutes. While that is happening, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my kales off. So let's do that. So I love boiling my saltfish off with a piece of garlic and some pimento seeds or allspice berries, dried allspice berries. I love boiling my saltfish with that because I just think that the flavor sinks in and it just makes everything taste better. So I'm going to add the garlic, add the allspice berries to the water, put it to boil, and then I'll come back and we'll cut up the kale. And I may add a little bok choy because I don't think the kale is enough. So it's gonna be kale and bok choy with saltfish, yeah? Here's my kale. I'm gonna rinse it off and cut it up. So I may have enough kale. I probably won't need to add the bok choy. So let's see. I love kale and saltfish. If you've never had kale and saltfish, you need to try it. And this is about what I cut them, the sizes, as you can see, because you know they'll shrink. These are baby bok choy. I got them in the Asian store. And be sure to wash these off, and usually I like to either open up or take off the outside leaf because usually the outside leaf is filled with dirt, so it's nice to open and take them off. And what I like to do is cut the stalk a little smaller than I do the leaves. So I'm also going to cut some onion and some scallion. I actually love tomato in this. If you have tomato, you can even add bell peppers if you want. I actually don't love adding bell peppers to this, but onion, scallion, and tomato I love adding to my saltfish. So I'm just gonna do the onion and some scallion because I have no tomato. Another thing I love adding that I didn't mention, which turned the flavor up all the way up a notch, is some Scotch bonnet pepper. Scotch bonnet pepper in your saltfish, even if it's just saltfish, is just bomb. But usually the Jamaican Scotch bonnet pepper, that's the way to go. The Scotch bonnet pepper that we're getting here in America is just not the business. No flavor, no heat, nothing. But anyways, I brought some from New York, so I'm gonna find them. Heat anything. This is the last one. I've just been using them because I bought them. I paid money for them. And this is the saltfish. I put some cold water in it. It's just cold water. So what I'm gonna do is scale it off. Look how easy it is to come off, like all the scale and this white film we like to take off as well, but just gently rub the knife over it and it's coming off just like that. And then you break it down by just taking the pieces off like this. So I'm gonna go do that off camera and I'll be right back. When we're getting ready to cook, we'll go by the stove. So your saltfish will look something like this once it's broken down. As you can see, they're small, they're in small pieces. And try to get all the bones. Sometimes I don't get all the bones, but I'm used to it, so it won't bother me. But especially if you're cooking for a child or a person that's not used to bone, try and get all the bones. Now it has been a while since this been sitting. This is the dough, and I'm gonna show you how easy this is to knead in. That's the dough. Gloves on to do this because then no flour goes in my nails, especially if I'm wearing nails. If I'm not wearing nails, it's okay, but if I'm wearing nails, I love using a glove for this. So we're trying to look for a smooth, and see it start looking smooth already. No more than 2 minutes. You don't need to knead this. I mean, if you want, you could knead it for longer, but I'm just letting you know you don't have to knead it so long. Once it's sit and the gluten relax, it's just easy going from here. See, it has scallion and everything. Okay, so if you're gonna make regular dumpling, you take a piece off like this. You can go bigger, you can go smaller. I personally do not like dumpling big, fried dumpling big. I like them small. Put it in your hand and you do like this. And you get it like that, and then you just kind of press it out. And this is a great way to just put it in your pot and fry it. Like I say, when you do this, they're gonna swell up and then they're gonna get a little belly. That's why you don't use too much dough to make a dumpling. I like to use a rolling pin, and then I'll just put it out and just roll it out, and then I'll fry it. Because this is how I like mine. They're not too thick, so this is about how I like to fry it. One that I made the regular way first, but this is the only one I make this way because I really don't love them this way. But this is just for show, because I don't remember if I mentioned that someone asked me to show them how to fry dumpling. So this is what you would be looking for. This is what you'll be getting if you're in Jamaica, or if a Jamaican fried dumpling for you most of the time. If it's me, it's gonna be flat. Another thing to remember, do not let the oil get too hot. You don't need the oil too hot, just medium heat, because if you get it too hot, once you add them to it, it's gonna start burning on the outside and the inside is not fried. So that's perfectly hot. Once you get that hot and you start adding the dumpling, you can just turn the heat down. Once it's get hot and I add my dumpling, I turn it to medium. I'm also gonna go ahead and add these other ones, but I wanted to do that one first and you'll see it cook. Keep in mind, if you're doing them thin, you will have to watch them closely because they cook quicker than if you're doing them thick. So, and usually once they're floated up from the bottom, because when you put it in, it will sink to the bottom. Once it floats up, you can spin it over, and you may want to spin it over a couple more times until it's cooked. Or you don't even have to look for that golden brown color, because sometimes my dumplings are not golden brown, but they're cooked. So keep that in mind, that if they're flat, they cook quicker, so you don't need to let them in the pot for more than 3 to 5 minutes. I think that's enough time to fry them, cook them thoroughly. Come up and put them in on your napkins to drain, because I like to use a lot of oil. You don't have to use so much, but I kind of just like to. I honestly like to cover my pot sometimes when I fry it, but just sometimes. And because I'm doing the thin ones, I don't want to cover it because you don't need the covering. Usually if you're doing the thick ones, it's a good time to cover it, but the thin ones don't need covering. So you take them out, it's good to put a cover over them like that and just put them down, sit them, and that will help them to get softer even if they weren't soft. So
well,
well, pardon me, my battery died, so I didn't get to show you guys how I prepare the kale. I really wanted to show you, but I'll do another video another time showing you how I make my kale and saltfish. So this was the finished product. It was good as usual, and I was just showing you guys the difference between the flat ones and the regular fried dumpling. It has that gut that I really don't like, so I was picking it out to show you guys. I do not eat that gut part. However, the regular way was really nice and soft, and as you can see, the flat ones are really flexible and pliable and soft as well. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in my next upload.